I thought that I self-reflected on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. Oh my goodness, I couldn't self-reflect any further. I would think about my day. I would think about how my day is going so far. I would think about how much I would do better tomorrow. I would think about the conversations that I've had, the choices that I've made, the lessons that I've taught, and it was all baloney. I do not self-reflect as much as I thought I did. See, me being aware of myself is different from me understanding and knowing me. And I think that me understanding and knowing me has led me to believe that I don't need to self-reflect, and that it is my job to tell my students and other people to self-reflect. How prideful that kind of idea and notion. A question that I have asked myself many times that I've never really answered until now is, why self-reflect? Why is it that I should spend my time thinking about the wrong choices or thinking about the lack of effort that I've displayed in trying to get better and trying to improve, as if that is the end goal, main goal, the only goal that I have of this existence, is to improve my day tomorrow, is to get 1%, 2%, 100% better than I was today. And I think that is all futile. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you ought not to get better, and I'm not saying that the pursuit of improvement is a dishonorable endeavor. I'm saying those are all good, but it is in fact all vanity. In my subconscious, let's say, if I believe that self-reflection is a waste of time because it is vanity and futile, well, no wonder I didn't do it. But we can all agree that self-reflection is a good thing to do. So then what is the purpose of self-reflection? And after much thought, I have come to the conclusion that self-reflection is indeed an act of obedience. We as a team just finished our second judo competition, and it didn't go very well. And not to say that the students and the team placed last. I mean, they placed top 3, but it wasn't to the style and manner by which we wanted to play. And so I encouraged the team to go home and to reflect on the day, to think about how they can be better, to think about the things that happened and how they can improve. And for what purpose? To get better at judo? Sure. But let's say we turn on that tape, that we turn on that match, that day, and we in ourselves, in our head, have an ideal desired form, and we think that we've achieved that form. But when we look at the film and we look at what has actually transpired, we come to the conclusion that it's not. Our ideal desired version is not the same thing that has been portrayed onto the actual real world and in reality. And I think that's where the character is built. It takes a lot of character to understand that I am indeed not where I want to be. And why do I say that self-reflection is an act of obedience? Well, at the end of it all, it tells me that I am indeed fallen. Because by the very nature and the definition of self-reflection, it happens when something did not go right. If I did everything perfectly, if I did everything good, there would be no need for self-reflection. It would already be baked into me, and I would just have to repeat the process to get the desired result again. So humans self-reflecting is proof that we are fallen, that we are indeed not perfect. It is to remind ourselves that we are indeed in need of grace. I don't think that the sole purpose is to get better at judo. I think that the sole purpose is to indeed represent Christ more effectively, both in victory and in loss. Because I think we would agree to a certain extent that self-reflection for the sake of getting better is, and as Kierkegaard says, an aesthetic trap. It breeds no fruit but just that tangible thing. It doesn't go outside of the scope of whatever futile endeavor we're on. Now, I'm not saying that any endeavor we're on is futile because we ourselves are going through. I'm saying in comparison to grace, in comparison to the representation that we ought to portray, compared to that, it is futile. Is it possible that all self-reflection should lead us back to the gospel, no matter what avenue we self-reflect on? In Kierkegaard's Sickness Unto Death, he argues that the self is only truly itself when it rests transparently in the power that established it. I am truly myself. That self-reflection will only reflect my true self when I am rested in Christ. But if I take that away and I just try to get better at judo without knowing and understanding that maybe God has placed judo in my life to remind me of my fallenness, I am in a futile and vain endeavor. Self-reflection is not a tool for mastery. It is a tool for surrender. It is a tool that we ought to use daily to self-reflect on the choices that we've made, the conversations that we've had, the day in and of itself, and to know that God could have used anything to show us our purpose, but that He chose to use whatever endeavor He set us on. One of the major misconceptions that people have of self-reflection is this notion that it must always lead to you beating yourself up. Now, this isn't to say that self-reflection will force you to do everything right or that you can do no wrong. It is to say that if you self-reflect correctly, you'll either know what to fix or you will know that you can stand on business.